Are we doing inside or outside? Outside, I got a table in the corner for you.
Fish and chips is actually mostly based on Pacific cod, at least in our waters.
My father owns 3 boats and I'm a partner in one of them, 3rd generation.
Spent 30 years in the Bering Sea aboard the fishing vessel Pegasus. The codfish industry has done very, very well.
Pacific cod is the second most harvested single species fishery. It's second only to walleye polo.
I think a pretty good average weight of them is we average like 10 to 12 pounds.
They're really good food fish, and they are fast growing. They are highly fecund, one of the most fecund species in the world. Millions of eggs produced by a single female in a year.
The head on a cod, they're big. We call them bucket heads when you get a big one because their head's about the size of a bucket and they got a big old belly. And
the range of distribution is pretty wide, so they can go from Alaskan waters or the Bering Sea all the way down to Northern California. But the majority of the species actually reside in Alaskan waters.
When you talk about how important it is as a community, you wouldn't think it'd be very important because the Pacific cod we catch in the Bering Sea up in Alaska, right? Well, the fishery itself, to us, it can account for half of our year's income in a 2.5 month span. So it's very important to us. And we bring our vessels home to Newport and we maintain them here. So I'd say it's also very important to this community.
A really well-managed stock, and we see the benefits of that in sustained high catches over many years.
Oh, they're delicious. I mean, it's one of my favorite fish, actually.
But codfish has that hint of fish, fresh fish, and you can almost taste the Bering Sea as you're eating it.
As far as amount of data, there's tons of it. But in terms of the processes of life history, there are significant gaps.
We fish them during the spawning season, when they're all schooled up, and so we really don't know where they grow up at.
How fast fish grow, how variable are those growth rates, and how do the processes by which we collect the data reflect or not reflect those processes.
3 fish that are the same age but from different parts of the Bering Sea could differ significantly in length. Just like 3 different 2-year-old children could be very different heights. Imagine having to guess the age of a child based only on their height. Right now we're focusing on how to sample this Pacific cod and how to sample it in a way that we know where the big fish and the old fish are distributed in the Bering Sea.
This is extremely important for the assessment and the management of these species because the stock assessment that the National Marine Fisheries Services conduct every year is an age-specific stock assessment. But what we actually measure through this scientific survey is the size of the fish.
It has a barcode for every single number, so you just put the fish on the bar, click the barcode for the length, and it's stored on your, electronically, so you can just download the data and it's ready to go on the computer. To get the age of this fish, we need to extract little ear bones. They have that, which are called otoliths. So we need to open the skull of the fish and take this ear bone out. So otoliths works kind of like the rings of a tree. Approximately every ring or every mark correspond to a year. So the otoliths of 3 fish might show they are the same age, but the fish could vary different sizes. This variability becomes a problem for management when sampling is biased toward collecting one size of fish more than the other sizes of fishes.
So the more we can understand the processes of growth from very early ages up to the ages that we see, the better we'll be able to model those.
So now it's the time when we have actually a good, healthy stock to gather the data that we need in order to preserve the good, healthy status of this species and in order to be able to monitor it in an effective way for many years to come.
There's not a fisherman up there that wants to catch the last fish in the Bering Sea or out here. We want it to be sustained.